Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan here. Welcome to another DanQ review. Today we are going to be discussing NeverDead, a very unique style game that no one really knew of going in. You know, we knew a little bit. It was not enough hype around. I think that was the whole thing. So this game kind of got swept under the rug. But I'm here to talk about it. My thoughts on what the game, you know, if it delivered, if it didn't, whatever the case is, you'll find out here. Now, first quick summary, of course. NeverDead is available on both the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It is an action game. That's like the easiest way to put it. It's even a third-person shooter. It's developed by Rebellion Developments, kind of a small name guy or whatever, and it's published by Konami. That's usually what you first see. It's published by Konami. Okay. Now, NeverDead. Basically, in short, the whole game is about a demon hunter who is actually over 500 years old. Basically, he had a curse placed upon him by the King of Hell, and he's been living. He cannot die. He can lose his limbs. He can do all this and that, but he cannot die. And he's trying to hunt these demons down and stop them with the help of a few, like an agent here and there. You know, other people. You know, just trying to stop these demons. Now, you know, 500 years later, and he's still able to do all that he can. His name's Bryce. Now, that's the basic summary of what the game's about. Like I said, I do non-spoiler reviews here, so you don't have to worry about spoilers. Unless you're interested, then you can go check the playthrough. Anyways, let's start off, here we go, on what I really think of the game. In terms of the good, this game is unique, honestly. There aren't too many games like with this. I mean, I heard people compare it to, God, I can't remember the name of the game, but it's very similar. It has a similar aspect, but it's not at the same time. Like, the idea is new. And I thought that the idea was what captured me to do this game. Because I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. The ability to lose your limbs and still get back in the fight. Now, I'd like to point out that doesn't mean you can't have a game over. I mean, there is the thing, like when you go down to just your head, it's just your head and you're rolling around on the floor. You have to make it back to your body or regenerate, or you'll have these things called grandbabies, and they'll pretty much eat you, and you'll have like a bit of a quick time event where there'll be a bar across the bottom, and you have to line it up right as it's going by. You hit A or X or whatever console you're playing on, and you'll line it up perfectly. And if you get it, you'll get out. But if you don't, you'll be stuck in its digestive system forever. It's really funny. But in terms of the idea is there. It's not a bad idea. Sure, why not? And that brings me to the other thing. This game is hilarious. I thought it was really funny. Like I don't know if it was intentionally funny. Like I don't mean the characters don't make jokes. Their jokes are kind of dumb. Okay, I mean that has nothing to do with it. But just the whole aspect. Like 1 minute you're perfectly fine, and then you're hopping along on one leg, or you lose your head. Your head's rolling around, and you're just trying to find your body. It's just all funny. The whole thing is just kind of really comical, and it made me laugh quite often throughout the playthrough. So I was like, wow, that's funny. I mean, I'm pretty sure they meant it to be funny in that nature, you know, kind of a comedic element to kind of take away from the quote-unquote seriousness of the game, but definitely something that tickles your funny bone for sure. Also, another thing I really loved about this game was its soundtrack. The soundtrack is dominantly a heavy metal one. The Megadeth has some songs in there for them, and pretty much when you're killing these demons, it really does capture the moment. And you're just like, damn, this is just the suiting music for it, you know, just want to headbang, you just want to slice and dice and do it all, shoot them, whatever the case is. You want to just go nuts on these guys with this music in the background. So it's really good music. Also, the game does have a certain... what word do I really want to use here? Basically, the game... damn, I really can't think of how to word this. That's kind of sad, isn't it? But... there's new environments, so to speak, you know, well, not new environments, but you go everywhere, okay? There's a lot of places to go, like sometimes you'll backtrack, but there's a lot of new environments. Each one is a unique level. So like you're going 1 minute you're in a museum, 1 minute you're at Arcadia's apartment, one of the main characters who follows you. Next minute you're at I don't know, you're in the sewers. There was just a lot of variety in terms of the environment. Don't know why I couldn't think of that there, but you get a lot of it's not just one backdrop. You know, you're not just placing against one backdrop. It is up there, so it is good. Now that's what I have to say about the good. People don't get too worried. Let's go on to the bad. Okay. First thing I didn't like about this game when I first started it was the controls. They're very clunky. Like, I mean, they just feel kind of sketchy. You know, you're like, I mean, they're not bad. I mean, you do get used to them. But when you're constantly losing your limbs, you're trying to find your limbs back because you have to do a dodge roll, right? You have to hit B or circle to get your limbs back. You have to find them first, roll over them, and then they'll like sling back onto your arm or your leg or whatever the case is. But the controls were kind of irritating. And at times, like when you'd be just down to your head, you're trying to find your body, and you're moving around, and all of a sudden you get stuck on a grate, and you have to jump, or you have to go upstairs, and you don't go upstairs properly, so you're trying to do that. And then you have to find your body, and when it's just down to your head, you have to actually manually attach it to the neck. Like you have to find the neck on the body. Sometimes the body could be flipped like this, and the neck's facing down, and you can't do it. So you have to use a regen. Now usually the regens are okay, but in a hectic time, you don't really want to waste a regen when your body's nearby, you know what I mean? So the controls were kind of bad, and they really needed to work on it, but that was kind of irritating, so I don't know, man, but that's just how I felt about it. Now another thing about this game, it's very repetitive. I mean, by the end of the first level, I'd already done everything pretty much you can in the game. There's nothing new. Like, there's no crazy weapons that you use. You have your butterfly sword, and you have various firearms, such as pistols, shotguns, SMGs, assault rifles, that sort of thing, but you don't have any more than that. So you'd be using enough of your abilities. Like, I mean, yeah, there's abilities you can use, like you can upgrade them and get better, more weapon damage, I don't know, better firearm damage, better sprint, better jumping, you know, that sort of thing. All little things that help your character. I noticed that they didn't really make the game any better because, like, honestly, I didn't notice much of the damage. I mean, I'm sure it did, but it was so minimal, just like the jumping. Like, the jumping was only increased a little bit, and you're limited to the amount of abilities you can stack on at once because your inventory will be too full. So I wasn't even able to use all my abilities that I purchased because it was, well, you can't. It's kind of stupid, but that was just that, you know. I mean, the controls, the repetitiveness of it, it kind of feels like a game you don't really want to play for long. That's the problem, you know. That's a big problem too, which, you know, you just, it's a big thing, you know. Another thing I want to talk about is the multiplayer. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed there was an absence of multiplayer. Okay, well, here's the thing. There's nobody on the damn thing. I attempted it. I actually got into one game. I'm not going to lie. I was going to post the one game, but then at the same time, it just wasn't enough. There was just not enough there. And not only that, but I had some issues with the file anyway. But let me tell you, if there were a lot of people playing NeverDead online, it would be fun multiplayer. I guarantee that, because you go through different stages, and from like point A to point B, whether you're just killing waves, whether you're doing an egg hunt even, you're just trying to get to the, you know, you're trying to work together in a foursome if you can, or you can do a twosome, it doesn't matter, and just work together to get to the end goal, and I think that's way more entertaining than just one person in single player. So if there were people online playing this game, it would probably have good multiplayer, which is kind of ironic because you wouldn't expect that. But at the same time, it goes back to the clunky controls and the you know, the repetitiveness of it. You know, that's the thing. You know, there's nothing there. Oh God, sorry, I forgot about something. For positive, I knew it would come back to me. I'm like, that can't be it. Sorry about that. Another positive I want to say: this game is actually surprisingly a good length. It is solid length. I call it solid length. It's probably about an 8-hour campaign, which is pretty good for most games. I mean, if this game was 5 hours, good day to you, sir. But it was like about 8 hours to beat it for me. But so you can't complain about length. Like, you could beat this game. I beat it in one sitting because I wanted to get a bunch of things done. But you will be able to come back to it and finish it. You don't have, like, you will get tired enough to come back. That's what I mean. That's how lengthy it is. So it is a good length. Now let's go back to the negative. Okay, so we have the bad controls, the repetitiveness of it, the multiplayer with nobody on it, which is really bad. So, like, it's the game. That's the thing, because you have the presentation of the single player, and if the single player is not good, nobody's going to be playing the multiplayer either. So that's, you know, it affects it. It's unfortunate, you know. So usually for me, when a game's got good single player but bad multiplayer, it doesn't affect me as much. But when it's the other way around, then you're kind of screwed, because what are you gonna do? No one's gonna be playing, just like this, you know. I found one game. I got lucky because it was pretty much full when I joined. There were 3 out of 4 people. I was the 4th person, and I was able to jump in, and went in there. But then I couldn't find a single other game after that one. There were none. I would refresh it. No game would appear. And it is the weekend, so that's what I don't understand, you know. There's people at home on their days off or whatever. They should be able to do it. So because of that, you know, it kind of kills the game. Now, let me talk about the storyline. Even though the game is kind of interesting and unique in its own way, the storyline wasn't all that good. I mean, it was kind of random, really. It needed improvement, to be honest with you, because like I said, this is the type of game where if you're not sure you want to get it, you know, you want a good gripping storyline, this isn't it, okay? If you want just mindless shooting and whatever, then this is your game. Which brings me back to another positive. I'm sorry, I completely forgot my positives in and out of order. Another thing I really loved about this game was the amount of carnage and destruction in it. Like, everything is breakable. Ironically, one of the best ways to get rid of demons is break, like, something above their head. So, like, for example, you shoot like a pillar with like a platform on top. Shoot the pillar with the platform falls right on their head and kills them. Like, everything breaks. Like, everything is just destructible, which is really cool. So I love the carnage and destruction of the environments. That's my thing. Anyway, back to the negatives. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping up and down here. It's not very organized, but that's okay. We're getting it done. So anyway, because of the storyline, it doesn't really grip you. You do feel like, oh, I don't really want to play this right now. That's kind of how I felt as I was playing the game. Like, is this game done yet? Is it done yet? Because it dragged on, right? Because of this, the storyline wasn't all that gripping. So it's like, whatever. So, you know, that made me not want to do it. Then, once I did get to the final boss fight and I did beat the game, the ending was a big disappointment too. It just ended. It was one of those ones where you're like, why would you end the game like that? It's so retarded. So, those are my points about this game. Those are the things I liked and didn't like. Unfortunately, the things that I didn't like hurt the game's score quite a bit, because the things that I like were kind of small comparatively. So, unfortunately, I gotta rate this game. I gotta give it my honest thoughts. NeverDead. Very interesting game. Interesting premise. Poor execution, I think. However, it is not bad. I don't want to say this game is bad, because it's not. It is kind of fun. I had fun time with it. So, I gotta say it's an average game. You probably won't find anything. You will find a lot better games out there, but like I said, there's a lot of games that are just thrown into the air, you know, quickly made, not a whole lot of effort put into them. This is one of those average games, not really meant to hit the block, you know, they're not meant to be big blockbuster games, they're just meant to be there. So that being said, I'm giving NeverDead a 5.5 out of 10. Not the best score, not a bad score, that's an average score. Now, it is one of the, you know, lowest I've given the game, because most of the games I've covered have all been like 7s and up. They've all been 7s and up. This first game, it's been below that, and that's just because of the games I've covered. I've usually covered the blockbusters, but now that I'm branching out this year, I'm covering a lot more. NeverDead, unfortunately, kind of a letdown, because it looked like a lot of fun. If you're worried whether or not to buy it, like, oh god, I have this much money, I don't know if I want to get this game or wait till this game comes out, give this one a pass. Honestly, it isn't all that, unless you have like just some money, you just don't want to know what to do, you want a quick amount of fun, maybe go get it. But even then, like I said, the repetitiveness of it, the lack of a good storyline, kind of kills it. So, while it is fun with all the destruction that you can do, the comedic aspect of it, the unique idea, it just doesn't execute it properly. So I'm giving NeverDead a 5.5. Kind of unfortunate, because I was expecting something more out of this game. But what do you do? So that's it for my review of NeverDead. 5.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think. I always love hearing your thoughts. So thanks everybody for watching this review, and I'll see you guys next time.